My next guest is an actor, model, and nudist whose feet were heard around the world. Yes, you heard me correct. In 25 seconds, Robert Shearn III joins me on an all-new RXG Exclusives.
We must open up our mind and take a look inside. I bet we find we hold all the answers tonight.
You're watching RXG Exclusives.
Oh, they tried to keep us away, yeah.
Robert Shearn III, you're finally on the program. This has been in the works for a while. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, listen, we're going to talk about your feet and other topics, but I want to take it back to your childhood first. Many folks grow up with a dream, sometimes to be the next big Hollywood star. You, on the other hand, did not have eyes on an acting career in your youth, but you've gone on to land roles in the TV One series For My Man and Thou Shalt Not. You've worked with the likes of actor Clifton Powell and Grammy-nominated Aloe Blacc. You've played music legend Louis Armstrong, and you have many other film and TV credits under your belt. So, what was the dream as a kid, and what led you to a life of cameras, lights, and movie sets?
Well, when I was a kid, like you said, I had nothing in mind about being an actor or performing. I would say that I did think about music. I loved music as a kid. So I did want to do something instrumental, like working with like a drum or a horn or something like that. I thought about doing something like that, but it didn't work to my advantage because my parents didn't approve of that. So, I just left it alone. But I always loved music. I always loved fashion. And I wanted to do modeling when I was younger. And I attempted to do that at a local agency. And then, I was told that I didn't fit the standards. So I just pretty much left it alone.
Well, listen, as a kid, I didn't ask for much, but I did ask for drums, and my mom said no.
Sounds just like me. My mom was like, I don't really want to be hearing a whole bunch of noise. So that's what I had to go with. And then, I had no other interest in like playing sports or anything like that. So as a child, I wasn't involved in anything like that, talent shows, like I said, sports or anything like that. I watched other people around me do all those things. And I watched them. And then here now today, I'm doing all this, entertainment things and TV stuff. And then they're not, now they're watching me. So it's kind of strange how that happened.
Well, now, you've studied the craft of acting under actor-director Tasha Smith, as well as at the Walnut Street Theater in Philadelphia. As an actor myself, I know that the learning process is in perpetuity, whether it's reading a book or going to a master class or studying an actor or ensemble's performance. Beyond your training, how do you continue to hone your craft on a regular basis?
Well, I'm always doing auditions, video auditions constantly. And, and in my mind, I'm like doing different scripts or things like that. I'm constantly doing submissions. Like it's an everyday thing for me. It's a nonstop thing. It's a straight up hustle. It never stops.
Right. Well, I think it's a safe assumption that many people have insecurities. Sometimes they're surface level and sometimes they're deep-seated. And body image issues aren't just associated with women. Often men are staring at their reflection in the mirror as well. It's a topic I've explored in my creative works, especially in the entertainment arena. My award-winning film, Beautiful Man in the Buff, centered on a rising star who was told by the industry and society what the definition of beauty is.
Hey, you. Yeah, that's right, I'm talking to you. Anorexia Bones. Yo, Bones. That's your new nickname, Bones. Let me ask you something. You got it? Huh? You got that disease? Huh? Do you have AIDS? You're so thin and frail, you must have it.
and more recently in my book,
Cold Night in a Warm Season, by award-winning actor and filmmaker Robert X. Golphin.
the main character wrestles with body image, self-esteem, and mental health amid the backdrop of the film business. Your career in front of the camera began with modeling for art students, including nude modeling. You're a nudist yourself. I have to ask, are you an anomaly? Were you always so open with your body, or did you have to grow into being comfortable in your own skin in order to grace runways and magazines?
No, I never was a confident person or around people in audiences and things like that. And when I was younger in high school, they gave me class shyest for my senior year. So no, I didn't really know how to talk to people, things like that. I would always have to, go to my mom to ask her, how do I say this to somebody? Or, if it was a girl that I liked, I always had to go to my mom and say, what do I say? I didn't know how to do anything. Even in high school, I didn't. And so, no, that confidence wasn't there as a child, even in my 20s. So it started when I got like later in life. For some reason, it just clicked in, and it was just interest that I had. And I just had to do it. Just get up and do it. Because I had to take the risk because those are the things that I wanted to do. So I had to get out of my shell and go for it. So, the things started coming up. I had an interest in nudism. And then, as long as I had an artistic background, that's what drew me into doing nude modeling, because I wanted to connect with artists again, and they were doing nude modeling. So I felt like I was in my genre again, being around them and posing for them. So that's how it all went. It wasn't planned out. It wasn't in me, as a child, that I was, always in front of people doing all these different things and love to be in the audience. It just all kind of just happened like that.
Well, there are very strong opinions about nudism throughout the world, and likely some misconceptions as well. Why does nudism appeal to you, and what would you like people to know about this practice?
Well, nudism, to me, no, it's not really a craft. It's just a natural being. We all came here without no clothes on. We all are nude every day, whether we like it or not. When you get in that shower, you are nude. You ain't taking no shower with no clothes on. It's just how society, especially this society in the USA, that's what they put our minds into, like, nudism is like such a dirty, bad thing, when it isn't. Like, you go to other countries in Europe, they don't depict nudism as being a bad thing. You see nudism everywhere. Statues in the churches, on the ceilings, the paintings. There's nothing but, nude figures everywhere. And when you go to Europe, so they don't look at nudism as being a bad thing, like an ugly thing, a dirty thing. But in this country, they depict everything that's nude as dirty, and they look at it as a sexual thing. And it's not. Just because you're naked don't mean that you're always having sex. It's not like that. That's not the reason why I'm a nudist. It's just being free.
So American culture has sexualized it when
Yeah. America, yes, when it comes to nudism, America sucks. Because if I mention anything about nudism, that's the first thing people think, oh, sex. Immediately, it's sex. And it don't even have nothing to do with that. It's a natural thing, and you're just being free.
Interesting. We both navigate an industry that is odd at best, because anything can happen. Things can change at the drop of a dime, and you have to always be ready. It's also an industry where people can garner attention, whether they want it or not. And some might say attention for their feet is a no-no. But in your case, it seems like the gift that keeps on giving. You appeared on the reality docuseries My Feet Are Killing Me, on TLC.
I've been a nudist for about 20 years.
A nudist?
Your segment was also featured on the Fox series Celebrity Watch Party, where your story commanded the attention of Raven-Symoné, Tyra Banks, and Lindsay Lohan, just to name a few. And you even won an award for your work. How did this opportunity come about? Were you uneasy about sharing your medical history with the world? And have your feet offered you a whole new set of fans?
Oh, yes. I was so nervous about doing this, and showing the world my feet, because I never really discussed my feet, not even with my family. Nobody never talked about it. So like having to open up to it to these producers, these LA producers, it was really, really difficult because they made me I had to talk about it, so no, it wasn't an easy thing for me at all. So now the world knows that I have web toes, but really the original reason why it was going on there was because of my fungal infection. And then I had thought about doing my feet, getting surgery on my toes to correct them. But after when we discussed it all, me and the doctor, I changed my mind, and I figured, well, I've been living with them, my whole life, so there was no reason for me to tamper with them now. And I didn't want to go through any issues that could have been coming after that. So I just let them remain the same, and I didn't think that they would want to work with me after that. I thought that, because they were really looking for feet that had, drastic things that were going on with them. So I didn't think they were going to work with me, but they still wanted to work with me with my fungus infection. And then they took it in that direction of the nudism, because they already knew my background as a nudist. But I didn't know that they were going in that direction until I actually saw the show. And they, that's the direction that they went to, me being a nudist to, to get ratings. And it did, because they used me to help get the ratings as a nudist. So, before the show aired, they had put in all the media, and the different other medias that they use, and that's what they used me. They used a few patients. It was several patients that they used, and I was one of them. And they said, "Oh, we have a patient that's a nudist," and then they named some of the other ones, their situations too. But I was one of them that they used, and then after the show aired, and shortly after that, that's when my segment was on Celebrity Watch Party. And I had no idea about that either. Like, nobody told me. The doctor didn't even know. Dr. Brad didn't even know. I was the one that found out before him, and I had to show it to him. And I said, "Look, we were on this, another show." Like, he didn't even know. So it was just a surprise, because I had watched that show, Celebrity Watch Party. I had been watching it, but that day I had turned the channel before I even came on. And then my friend, he hit me up and he said, "Robert, you're on the show with the doctor." And I said, "What?" So he's like, turn it. So I turned it, and then he calls me. He's like, Are you watching? And nothing really clicked in until I seen Tyra. And when I seen Tyra Banks, then I started screaming. It kicked in. I was like, Tyra Banks is watching me on TV after I've been watching her on TV for years. Like, I was like, "Oh my God, Raven." I was screaming Raven, because it was so unbelievable that these people were watching me on TV. I'm like, "Oh my God," it was so crazy. But it was great that everybody watched, and the fans like the show. My Feet Are Killing Me, and they're the reason why that we won the award for Best New Cast for the 2021 American Reality TV Show Awards. So it's I'm so grateful to all the fans that voted, because I had no idea that we were going to win against legends. Like it was Growing Up Hip Hop New York with the legends, Flavor Flav, Run from Run DMC was in that, Jarul. People like that were in the show. And then also the Titans, that was hosted by The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, was also in our category for best new cast, and we won. So I was like, oh my God, like against these people, like these big people, we won, you know. Then we also was nominated for another category as well, and we didn't win that category, but I was so glad that we won something, you know, and it's just great. And I thank the fans, you know, for voting, because we was on all over the world, you know.
That's incredible. And that's such a great trophy, too. You know, when I first saw the show, I just kept asking myself, how do your feet audition for something like that? You know? Um, so, did you tell your friends and family that you would be on the show, or did they just happen to see it along with the rest of the world?
Yeah, I did tell them about the show, My Fear of Killing Me, and you know, my family watched, and most of people, you know, they accepted it. I just had like one relative that had a little issue about the nudism part, you know, but you know, because she was like, well, did your mom know like that you was a nudist? And I'm like, yeah, she knew, you know. I didn't keep it from her, so she knew what I was doing. So she didn't have a problem with seeing the show. But I mean, when I first told her I was a nudist years ago, she may have had an issue then, but by the time the show came out years later, she was already used to the idea. So none of my family, you know, my mom or my, you know, my other closer relatives didn't have an issue with it. This is more like a distant family. And then she was kind of like, oh, well, I told like other people in the family, other relatives, like, and then, you know, she was just like, oh, I would feel funny if my kids was a nudist or something like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, like, well, what do you want me to do? You know, that's how you feel, but I don't feel that way. And my mom doesn't, and my, you know, siblings and stuff, they don't have an issue with it.
They love you. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
COVID-19, particularly at the height of it, was a time of sadness, isolation, anger, uncertainty, and it caused a lot of depression in the artistic community. How did and how do you find peace in times like these?
Through prayer. I mean, I pray a lot, even though I mean I couldn't go to church physically. I still watched online, you know, because my church would do services online. So that's what I would do. And like I said, I mean, I pray all the time. So prayer is what got me through. You know, it was a hard struggle, you know, not doing anything at all artistically, and you know, just being home without being able to go out. It wasn't an easy thing. I mean, I'll say like even now, there's still an effect because there's still not as much available as there used to be. Like before, it was like I was constantly doing stuff. And now it's like I still see that there's a difference. It may not be as bad as it was during COVID, but there's still a difference today. It's still a difference.
Right, for sure. Well, you're an artist who gives back. You speak to students in schools. For those who wish to follow in your artistic footsteps, what are the first footsteps they should take in order to make their dreams come true?
Don't be afraid to take risks. That's the only way you're gonna grow. Um, don't be afraid to take advice. Communicate to other people that are doing whatever you want to do, no matter in what field it is. Take their advice. Anybody that's doing anything that you want to do, you take their advice. You listen to them. Even if you say, well, maybe I don't want to do exactly what they did, but at least listen. Give them the opportunity to talk to you, and you talk to them, and you listen, and you take tips on whatever it is that they got to say, because that's what I would do. That's all. I was always talking to people. I went to a lot of events for no matter when I was, you know, doing entrepreneurial events with, you know, the Black Chamber of Commerce, investment groups because I was an entrepreneur working with properties and investments. And I was a landlord. I used to go to investment meetings. I would talk to other people that invested in landlords, and I constantly got their tips and advice and took notes. And I constantly went to, like I said, events that had artists and actors and models, and constantly went to parties, and I would constantly be around people that I wanted to be like. And I would take their tips and their knowledge, and I apply it to me. Whatever I could apply to me, that's what I did. So that's what you need to do. Take other people's advice. Don't think that you know it all when you don't. Then you read. I study a lot. I'm always researching things all the time on the internet. I'm researching or taking classes. You do whatever you got to do to learn whatever thing that you want to do or whatever career that you go into. And like I said, don't think that you know it all, because you don't. And there's so much that you can learn no matter what it is that you're doing.
It never stops. Well, shifting gears, but there's still a connection here. Social media, a novel invention, can also be an unhealthy place. Artists and people in general are often treated questionably, to say the least. And yes, creatives put themselves out there, they put their work out there, and it comes with the territory that there's criticism. And it seems as if there's much love for you out there, but for creatives who are just trying to give a piece of themselves to the world, but instead get cyberbullied, what's your advice to them?
No, I'm not going to say that I always had love from the internet. I'll say during my theater killing me times, I didn't. Maybe all before that, and even like right now, it's cool. But when I went on my theater killing me, oh no, on Twitter, that's when I heard like backlash. And it was mostly from the Black community, unfortunately. And I had heard, from other celebrities, the stuff that they went through on, on Twitter and Instagram. So, I mean, you don't really think it's going to happen to you until your time comes that you're out there just big throughout the whole world, but or the nation. And that's when I heard it my first time, and I got backlash that I couldn't believe, but it's like, well, what could you do? You can't do anything. All you got to do is keep on moving. And that's what I did. They say what they got to say. That's their opinion, and then you just keep on going. But I don't cyberbully anybody. No. And I actually had an event that I did with high school students that I spoke, and I talked about that. I had mentioned that to the students then, that I didn't feel that it's appropriate for people to cyberbully people, because it's something that I just don't do it. If I don't have nothing nice to say, I'm not going to directly say it to somebody. I'm not going to go on Twitter and directly say something about anybody that's really, really bad and nasty. I'm just not going to do that. But people get attacked a lot on the internet, and they do it right directly to them, and I just don't think it's cool, because I don't do that. I wouldn't do that. I mean, I see it all the time, and I just say, wow, like, do it behind closed doors. If I got something to say directly to somebody, I'm gonna, especially if you know them, because we see how celebrities will do it to other celebrities, and they already worked with the person or something like that. Then they go on social media and they put all their business out and attack each other. I would never do that. I would go behind closed doors, call them on the phone, let's meet together in person, let's talk about it. I'm not going to put it on social media like that. I'm not doing that. So that's just the way I do things. And like I said, I spoke about it in high school when I spoke to the students, and I told them, I just don't think it's a cool thing to do.
Well, it's wrong. Cyberbullying, bullying of any kind is wrong, whether you're a celebrity or just your average Jane or Joe. But I also think that people forget that celebrities are people too. They have feelings, and there are many celebrities who have harmed themselves or taken their own lives because of various things that may include how they were treated by society, how they were treated by the industry, things that people wrote online. It happens.
Oh yeah, I seen it. I seen it even when I seen it from Raven Simone when she was on The View hosting for that period of time. Like there was people attacking her and she was on The View crying about it. I mean, I seen Lizzo crying about it, like on her social media, crying that people attacked her. Now, I mean, like I said, when they attacked me, I wasn't going to go on social media crying about it. I just, you just got to go in stride and just be like, okay, and just keep on going. I might have talked about it behind closed doors to a friend of mine or something like that. I would do it, but I didn't personally, go after people and stuff like that. I'm not going to do all that and be nasty. I just told some of them, I said, listen, didn't your mom ever tell you that if you don't got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all? I said stuff like that, but I wasn't going to, just because you hating on me, don't think that you're going to get it out of me, because I'm not going to do that. And what you saying, I already done heard. So it don't bother me. I don't know, I heard it all, so it didn't bother me.
Well, as we wind down, let me ask, what more can the industry do to promote diversity and inclusion? We've had much improvement, but it still seems to be quite the fight.
I'll say, what, today, I think that there is so much diversity out there today than there was 20 years ago. So I think the industry has included it a lot more than it was 20 and 30 years ago. I mean, even social media, there's a lot of people now on Instagram that, they may not be a model in the industry, but they claim they're a model on Instagram. So if they ain't doing it in the industry, they're still saying, I'm a model and this is me. When 30 years ago, if you wasn't modeling, you wasn't modeling, period, anywhere, So I think that there's a lot of things available more so today for people to utilize to show themselves and be what you want to be. So I wouldn't say that there's any drawbacks today. You see more people of color out there. You see more sexuality out there today. Like I said, there's so many shows that are people of color today, reality shows and BET, stuff like that. There's so much going on. So I would say that there's a whole lot more included today.
Well, that's a refreshingly valid point, and you are finding ways to stay booked and busy, even amid the pandemic or endemic. In addition to some of the projects mentioned earlier, you've done theater, and some of your screen work also includes sexual health commercials, and you can be seen right now in an ad for the Metro subway line in Washington, D.C. Can you tell me about some of your upcoming projects, or is it all hush-hush?
I'll say that I did recently work on another project with Clifton Powell, and I'm looking forward to that coming out. And there's something else I recently did. We're working on getting that out too, in the film festivals and for a premiere for that. So everyone will have to follow me to see what's up with those things.
And that brings me to my next question. How can people support, encourage, and follow your career?
Everything is on my name. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook fan page, and I'm on cameo.com. Everything is under my name, Robert Shearn III. Or you can look for me under TLC. But I do want everyone to go to Tubi if you can and watch me in a movie called Sucker for Love. It's SUCKA, the number 4, then LUV on Tubi. You can watch it free at any time. So check me out on that.
All right, well, there you have it. Robert Shearn III, a man of many talents, actor, model, and so much more. Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks for having me.
And thank you for watching RXG Exclusives. Until next time, take care.
Make sure to like, comment, and hit subscribe on our YouTube channel so you never miss out. RXG Exclusives, hosted by Robert X. Golphin, now playing.